get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, November 27th. Here at Sports Money, you know what we do. We put together all that last-minute information you need to make informed betting decisions. And it's going to be a fun night tonight. We came off a big night last night, so I'm excited to get back after it here. What a night, man! Let's put the parlay aside, because that was a little almost 11-1. If it wasn't for the Lakers, we had board sweepage. Started off that first game of the day with the members' plays in Creighton. Took the loss. Went on a monster run. Utah Tech and Clemson came through for us before the show even ended. We got rolling. We cashed in the college football ranks. We swept a little mini sweep there. We had the under 49.5. Never, I repeat, never in doubt. Good cash there. We got the teaser with the Bulls and the under. Another no sweat bet. Typical Buffalo. I figured they would do something to go out there and blast them open. Kent State's that bad. St. Francis, PA. We talked about how they won the grudge match between St. Francis, New York and St. Francis, PA. They went out there. They won outright for us. 88-78 as 4.5-point dogs. Continuing along college basketball. Boy, that Duke game got sweaty. But they got 147. We had under 149.5, so we cashed that one. And another outright winner, San Jose State. 4.5 points. They went outright by 5. Big winners there. The Bucks, no Giannis, no problem. 106-103. You guys might think I'm crazy when I say they're not in. I like it even more at this point because, again, they were already factored into that line. That last-minute movement was to bait everybody into taking the Miami Heat, but not us. Not us, not up in here. We also cashed the Vancouver Canucks last night, even money, easy winner. And again, unfortunately, the Lakers bottomed out. They bottomed out in a big way as well, 127-100. Vuce didn't get his 3, but he's playing again tonight. Sneak peek on that player prop look. And Chris Paul didn't get his double-double. Anthony Davis easily went over his number. Cole Caulfield goes over his shots on goal. So all in all, solid day in the books out there. We claimed just over 6.7 units on the day. And that's what we were waiting for. We've been battling back and forth and idling. It was only a matter of time before we bust through. And let's not look back. Let's just keep moving forward. We got ourselves a great card tonight. Great card. Emphasis on great. Huge NHL slate. Huge NBA slate. Large college basketball slate. No college football. A little surprised. I saw they snuck a Thanksgiving game in there for us for college football. And speaking of college football, don't adjust your sets. Special edition tonight. We're going live. 9 p.m. Pop-off. 9 p.m. No first strike because there's no UFC. But the First Strike crew plus guests are assembled for First Slice. Special edition NFL Thanksgiving. We're going to talk to you guys about the world of sports that is tomorrow. We've got 3 NFL games on deck. We've got Euro soccer action in play with, of course, none other than the Sub Club. And it's going to be so much fun talking players, props, sides, totals, parlays, you name it. We're going to have it tonight. That's going to start at 9 p.m. So that'll give us plenty of time to look at some live bets for the remainder of the evening slate. Anything else that we haven't missed or last minute line movement shifts that we need to be aware of to go out there and get paid. So get ready. 9 p.m. We're live. First slice. The first slice of turkey, the first slice of pie. It don't matter. We're going live. We're going to get after it here. So get yourselves ready. Going to be fun. Just something fun, something different. Maybe it'll become a new tradition. But again, with no UFC on Saturday, the First Strike team's just sitting around. Well, let's put that sitting around focus in on what we do in the NFL because we've all been very profitable along those lines. So that should be a lot of fun. Appreciate you guys coming in to rock with us. Make sure you guys take that time at this point to help us build the brand here. All it takes is a second. We need you to hit that thumbs up button. And that's going to help us attract new viewers just like us. Gamblers, degenerates, sharp cappers that will come in here and they'll share their best bets. We want more looks. We want to find different angles, different ideas to continue to cook the books. And it only takes you a second to hit that thumbs up, but it goes a long way. Now's the time. Take the time. Close the comments. Hit that thumbs up. Pop the comments open, and we'll get back to the show. Let's go. Man, we love you guys. That's what, we were sitting around talking about it the other day and said, you know what, let's give them something. Let's give something to the people, and we'll see what happens. It's going to be fun. We'll have the cocktails flying. We'll be playing some buttons. We'll be pushing some buttons. We'll be talking some live bets as well. We'll see. Maybe an hour. Maybe depending on how many of you guys are there, maybe we go a little bit longer. As long as we're having fun, we're making money, then we'll keep it going because it's a special weekend here. Thankful for all that is America. Football is probably the most American thing we got rolling, and it's going to be fun to have a couple cocktails with the boys here tonight. Normally, we record First Strike, and then I edit it, and we put it out there, and it's out there around 10 p.m. Tonight, we're going live. Get ready. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. Excited for that. So let's go. Let's see what's going on here. I went down the recap. I was excited to run right through that thing. Man, felt good to have one of them bust-out nights. It wasn't like, hey, the Lakers, man, if they could have gotten it done for us, it would have been awesome. Would have lost that first play of the day and just ran the table. But sadly, we can't do anything about it. But they play again tonight. And so we may add a spot for the Lakers here tonight. Just a little sneak peek. But let's get to work, you guys. Know the deal. It's that time. Hit that like button. Grab the pen and paper. The best in the business assemble here at 6 p.m. That's no joke. This crew has been winning, growing bankrolls, sharing best bets, angles, trends, look ahead spots, you name it, we got it. You're going to want to write it down. And furthermore, share your best bets in the chat so we can recognize all that is what you guys are on as well. I'm going to pop this out there to pop it off here because I don't want you guys to miss the player props while I recognize the best bets around the horn. And here we go. We're going to roll right back to it. We'll get right to some action. Why the heck not? We're going to go back to Voos. Over 1.5 threes. Now they got that plus money price tag back on there for us. He struggled last night. He had 1 of 3. 1 of 3. But what do we know about that? Well, that was kind of a trappy spot last night. That big number on the total. And they busted him up. And then because they busted him up, Voos really didn't shoot for shit in the second half of that game. But the 4 games prior to that Wizards game, he had 2 or more threes in every one of them. So let's run back to it. Let's see what the Bulls can do now. Rolling on down to the Magic. And it's a revenge spot for Voos because he played there for 9 years. 591 games for the Orlando Magic. And it should be fun to see what that looks like. So we're going to start out there. We'll see if we can get this 1.5 at plus money. And then we're going to go on back to our guy from last year. We're going to tap the last year bucket with Scotty Barnes. The Toronto Raptors have been tremendous dogs. They've been tremendous at covering the spread. I personally would rather see a team play in the championship that covers the spreads more than a team that goes out there and beats teams and can't find a way to cover. But that's me. That's not apparently the rest of the world. That being said, though, Scotty Barnes, he's back. Let's go, man. This guy's been firing up. His minutes, his points, his rebounds have all increased in the past week since coming back from his little injury snafu out there. And look, his last game he was firing. Plenty of minutes, 37, Plenty of points, 31. He went 12 for 26 from field goal range. He almost had a triple-double. He had 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Challenge is going to be here. Well, I don't even know if it's going to be a challenge. Look at his rebounds. This is where we try to look for these double-double spots. We've talked about this before. When they got 9.5s or higher on the books, well, obviously they're expecting 10. So expectation, 10-plus rebounds. Probably gets himself 20 points. And what the hell? Maybe he gets himself in the assist game and picks up that triple-double. But he can get 10 or more points, no question. I think he can get that spot for us with the rebounds. I don't think there's any question there. The question is, does he go into triple-double world? But it's plus 225. So we'll take a shot. I'm going to leave that on the screen for you guys while we check it out because we got to get to work. We got a full night tonight. Special treat. Got to get the notes ready. Got to get everything dialed up for First Slice. And hopefully you guys will join us for that. So why not? Why not us? Why can't we get together impromptu and have some fun together? So that's what we're going to do. Let's get to the work of the chat. Let's recognize the best bettors here. What do we got for the best bets? Put them in the chat so I can shout them out to you guys. And, of course, Joe T. Jover T. J.O., as he's known around these parts, likes himself a little over in the Maple Leafs and Panthers game. He says it was an easy over in the football game last night. You know, it's funny, as I said, Joe. Do you think it's going to be Buffalo that pushes the points? It was. It sure was. He's going Leafs and Panthers first period over tonight. Is Jover. J-O. Shout out to NJ Stryker. Says, good evening. How about my Scarlet Knights last night? Happy Thanksgiving all. You know what's great about that is I still won. I mean, it was overtime, right? It was a hell of a shot, man. Wow. But they still didn't cover. But it was still a great win. And I'd look to fade him again tonight. Fuck him. That's too many points. I was disappointed because I lost track of the time today. NJ Stryker, and I had this glorious write-up, this glorious little breakdown for the Oregon and San Diego State game. And I played it. And I looked back at the time and I was like, shit, that game already started. In fact, I think it's already over. If I'm not mistaken. Let me look because it was Oregon all day. 6 ways to Sunday. Let me see what the final score was in that game here. I don't want to be speaking out of turn, but I love this feast week, man. I love afternoon action. Give me something to do while I'm waiting for something to do. You know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down? Let's go. Let's go. What's going on with my scoring update? Anybody? Let's see. It was always Auburn. That's not the question. Memphis had their big win. Auburn coming back from beyond. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. What did we get? What do we get? I spent the last 45 minutes fucking around with graph. Of course it was Oregon. It was always Oregon. It was always 7-0 Oregon. I'm going to tell you this. Keep your eyes on Oregon. I'm going to put myself out there like I talked about how bad that team was in college football last night. Oregon's been winning despite themselves. Despite their ability to take shots, make shots, they're still winning. And they did it again today. But anyways, NJ Stryker, good on you for your Scarlet Knights, my friend. Joey Dubs in the house. Chris Sella says, gobble, baby, gobble. David Wallace is here. Appreciate you guys coming in, rocking with us. Mitch Morber. Milwaukee cash for us. Yeah, outright. That was the Skunk Blaster play of the day. Milwaukee. How about that? You know, I feel inspired today. I got to get ready to push these buttons. And let me do this here real quick, huh? Let me do this real quick. Nobody says we can't do this. Maybe they do, but I don't listen. How about that? Yeah, let's find it. Here it is.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Let's go, Bucks. Busted them up. That's what we wanted to see out there. I'm just trying to have some fun, guys. I hope you're getting jacked up with me here. Big night ahead. Shout out to Irish King. Says, I told him, Suns first quarter, first half, spread plays, Bucks money line, Nucks money line. Last night was crazy. It sure was, dude. Shout out to you, man. Let's go. Let's go, Irish King. Philly Eagle Flyer. How about cashing PSV money line? Live. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado says, happy Thanksgiving. There's Keith. Every stride. Keith's going to join us tonight. Keith's going to be live. He's going to be live sharing his best bets. And he says, I like Memphis Grizzlies -8 versus the Pistons. Nasty Nate didn't know he was allowed within 500 feet, but he is freezing at a high school turkey bowl at Rhode Island. URI, baby. Biggest little state in the union. Fernando, 6-2 in UCL. Damn, man. Woo! Man, I told you, man. We're firing up. Shout out to you guys. Let's go. David Wallace says, that's good. Joseph Alvarado is number 17 on the thumbs up. Nasty Nate still taking the time to say, hit the like button, bitches. Trans-Canada. On the wrong side of this Nashville Flyers game, I think, here. The sharp money coming in all over the Flyers today. But he's still going to root for Nashville. He's still going to go Predators. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Jay Peasy. Take your thumbs up, chat, and smash the like button, says Jay Peasy. Make sure you do smash that like button. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's go. Let's get to work. Justin McCalvy's here so we can get rolling. He says, sports money is money. Shout out to you, Justin McCalvy. Long shot for Brandon the Great tomorrow. You're going to want to bring these in tonight. He's looking at a Turpin touchdown, I believe is what he's looking at there at +700. Fernando says, easy under on the Bucks game last night. Giannis out made it even easier. Shout out to Ricky Levine in the house. Pep slap. Colorado last 14 home games against Pacific Division are 14-0. Hit the like button. Yeah, let's go. Shout out to Terry B in the house. Let's go. He says, what's up, Big Mike? Happy Thanksgiving. Who are we fading in the NBA? The injury report is ridiculous. Sure is. I got some great trends for you guys here tonight. There are a lot of great spots, I thought, across the board. So I had to work to drill this card down. I had to work at it. I'll probably add more as we can. I mean, look, this afternoon slate worked out quite well for me. I had the under in Sam Houston. I had Oregon. I got some money, and I haven't even hit the refresh on the account yet. That'll be a nice little surprise. The easiest under had to be Tennessee UT Martin. It was a week ago that I was talking about those UT Martin under stats against non-conference opponents or non-division opponents. They smashed it. They went under by like 30 points. Easy under today. This is what I love about college basketball. You start to recognize some of these trends. Things start moving in the right direction, and we start cashing. I tell you what, I bet it. I didn't even cap it. I just saw UT Martin play in Tennessee. I was like, they're going to get shut down. Sure enough, they got shut down. I just bet it. It's a blind bet. Make sure you guys listen to some of these trends that we talk about, because even though they might not exist for that day, doesn't mean they still don't pop back down the road. That's what this is all about. Educating. We're leveraging tools and technology. Try to help make more informed betting decisions. Irish King likes Minnesota money line in the team total over, plus a boldy goal. Sounds like a same game parlay. And then some. Shout out to Chosen One. Ron Young. Robert McCormick says, my first half unders hit today in the Champions League. Villa and Liverpool. Shout out to you, man. Nice job. You guys are definitely dialing into soccer. I see it. I hear it on Ramon's show. And I see it with Sub Club. Firing. Damn, everyone's been firing. Sub Club was firing yesterday, fired in today. Shout out to Gonzo. I know he's traveling for the holiday, but man, safe travels to the Big D. That being said, man, he fired up again yesterday's 4-0 in his last 4. Things are heating up, boys and girls. Things are, in fact, heating up. You guys are in the right spot to make this holiday cash. So let's get to work. Let's rock into this schedule tonight. Let's talk about a few of these games quickly. We'll move with a brisk pace, and then we'll get back to capping this NFL card so that we can come in and give you guys a special little holiday treat with the boys. Live show tonight. First of its kind here at Sports Money with First Slice. I don't know how that one came to us, but First Slice did in fact come to us. And we're going to pop this thing off. We're going to look at this Sabres and Minnesota Wild game. The Wild starting Gustafsson. He's 9-4-3, stomping the shit out of the league with a 2.33 goals against average and a 92.3% save percentage. They've lost 2 straight, them Minnesota Wild. And they're going to roll on the other side with UPL back from injury. And the Sabres going for a 4-game winning streak. How can you not fade the Wild and take the Sabres? Wild on a 2-game losing streak. Sabres on a 3-game winning streak. And UPL coming back 8-4-1, 2.55 goals against average. And a 91% save percentage. Gustafsson struggled. 1-2-1 in his last 4 games. But look, fantastic, man. The guy's been firing. Aside from just kind of some of these snafus the last few, it was Minnesota that was struggling to get their shit together. And what do we got, guys? This is the best spot of... Listen, let me start up. Home teams as dogs the night before Thanksgiving are atrocious in the NHL. That's a fact. You knew I was coming in with some stats. You knew I got some trends for you. We got that special spot that is the Thanksgiving Day games out there. And how about this? Home dogs day before Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble, baby. 3-22. 3-22. 4 teams fit that criteria tonight. The San Jose Sharks, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Pittsburgh Penguins, and the Buffalo Sabres leading the way for us out there. What the hell? Look, top 10 team and all the advanced metrics are the Minnesota Wild. The Sabres are outside the top 20 because they're just sneaking by. But we have UPL coming back. We have Tage Thompson coming back. We have the Fade the Stars returning in the first game theory in play tonight. And it's only right we just fire on this Minnesota Wild team here. A little juicier than I want, but underneath that magical minus 140, barely, but still there. Let's take it. Let's run with it. What do you guys think? Jay Peasy thinks Winnipeg Kings is damn near a pick. Very fishy, so he says. I don't think the Jets win tonight. I'm not a big Jets guy tonight. Don't have to say much to get me to bet against the Sabres, says Jay Peasy. Dude. Let's go. That's going to be the way we pop this thing off here. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. It looks good. Keep in mind that home teams the day before Thanksgiving as a dog, 4 of them fit the criteria. I'll read them off again for you guys. The Sharks, the Blackhawks, the Penguins, and the Sabres, 3-22. By the way, 6-15 to the under are those home dogs the day before Thanksgiving as well. Keep it in mind. I don't know about totals today, but these guys are going to be off tomorrow. So, this is definitely a get it done, get the hell out of their situation, and then move on. And let's move on. Let's move on to game number 2. Philly Eagle Flyer says, I'm a big Jets guy tonight. May bite me in the ass, but Kings suck. I mean, that just screams lower scoring game. If it wasn't for Red Light Rittich being in there, I'd be all over that under 6. I think it's 5.5 now. So some things to think about. We'll see how we actually fire on that game as we get down to it. Speaking of firing, let's move on to this Capitals Tampa Bay game here. And yeah, we're going to roll back at it here. We're going to fade these Caps. We got no Ovechkin in the lineup. Only a matter of time before the tide washes out and we see all the broken bottles on the shoreline that is this Washington Capitals team. And we got Lindgren and Vasilevsky going in goal. Good news is it's the 3rd straight start for Vasilevsky. Getting confident, getting comfortable. He's allowed 2 or fewer goals in 5 of his last 6 games. When your goalie's standing on his head, what typically happens? You win games. They're 4-1-1 in that stretch. And he's been phenomenal. He's got a 2.24 goals against average, 91.5% save percentage, and 2 shutouts. Very much looking to reign as a potential Vezina Trophy winning goalie again. And what do we talk about? Well, we talk about the no Ovechkin, no scoring for this Washington Capitals team. 7 goals in 3 games for a 1-2 record. They're going to Chucky Lindgren. He's got a 2.64 goals against average and a 90.1% save percentage. And kind of look at the carousel now, right? They're trying to phase their goaltender. They're trying to rest their goaltenders, I guess is the best way to look at it. They're going back to like a 1-2-1-2. They're not riding a hot hand. They're just trying to ride the string out, I think, at this point until they can catch Ovechkin coming back. So they're not trying to exhaust anybody. I think the goal for the Capitals right now is just stay in the playoff hunt. You don't have to be the best in the league, and don't over exhaust anybody across the board because it's scrappy. It's digging deep. It's looking at your depth and trying to figure it out. And Tampa Bay, man, fire. 8-2 victory over the Avalanche. We were on them. We were all over them, boys. Here's the thing. Not only that the Capitals aren't scoring goals right now, it's that Tampa Bay is. So Tampa Bay is one of the best home teams in the NHL. They got a 7-2-1 record at home this year. Now, remember, we go back to that hurricane. They kind of had a little bunch of games got rescheduled, right? So they spent a lot of time on the road. But when they finally came back, they were playing for the land. They were playing for all them folks that were devastated by Milt. And they've been outscoring opponents on top of it, 35-18. Tampa should run shop in this game here. And I don't see any reason that changes. At the end of the day, they're just scoring goals like crazy, man. 6 games, 27 goals in a stretch. I mean, they're finding the back of the net. They found their way to replace the Steve Stamkos movement at the end of the year. And it's led in charge by Kucherov. And Point. Remember, we talked about Point coming back and how important it was for him to generate that offense. I think it's a bad spot for the Capitals here tonight. It's not the home dog situation. It's take the home favor. We're going to take them in regulation. We catch them at plus 102 in regulation. Tampa should go out there and handle business tonight. They're scoring. Capitals aren't scoring. Why not get this thing over with here? With a great stat, though. Excuse me. Says Washington, first period overs are 11-1 their last 12. First period, both teams to score over 1.5, over 5.5 for Philly Eagle Flyer in this one as well. Expecting some goals, expecting some firepower tonight. I wouldn't doubt it. The question is, can the Capitals slide one in there early? That would be probably the only concern I had for you guys in that spot. But let's talk about this next game. Let's keep her rolling. I like the pace we got flowing already here. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I know we got the 9 o'clock spot coming up, but we can't get there until we get through here. And we'll go to this Canucks and Penguins game. Canucks played last night. We were on them. Easy 2-0 shutout victory. Got us that cash. And why not us, right? Now we look at this game. What do we know about the Canucks? They're 8-1 on the road. We kind of rode that angle yesterday. Coming off a shutout. Low scoring. That's kind of been the Canucks' motive, if you will. Their motif as they've been rolling through this thing. And look, as far as goaltending is concerned right now, it's going to be a challenge. Tristan Jarry will start for the Penguins, but he's been piece of shit status. 1-3-1 on the season, 5.43 goals against average, and 86.9% save percentage. Can't get a groove, I think is the way I would describe the goaltending for the Penguins right now. And another team, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. They're being outscored 13-4. Gary struggled. His team doesn't play any defense behind the guy. And it's difficult city. Now, it's the second leg of a back-to-back, as we talked about, for the Canucks. They're going to go to Silovs. He's 1-3-1. He's 3.9 goals against average. He's 85.7% save percentage. At first pass, I just wanted to fire on the Canucks. You look at some of these stats. Look at this one for the Penguins. 0-11 against non-conference teams in the dog roll, and they're losing by over 3 goals a game. Can you believe it? 3 goals a game. I have to look at the goaltending matchups here. A couple things going on. Silovs, not good. 3.9 goals against average per game. The Penguins are allowing 3.96 goals a game out there. So collectively, we slap these numbers together. I thought the only way to take advantage of this game here, because of that second leg of a back-to-back, we see these legs get a little bit tired in these spots. Defense kind of falls by the wayside, and we got suspect goaltenders out there. I'm going to take the over 6. I jumped in on this one over 6. It just felt to me like, despite the fact that the home teams and the dog, if you want to play devil's advocate, I'll give you guys a number that kind of did get me a little twisted today. I was a little back and forth on this one today, but where'd it go? Where did it go? Western Conference teams that shot less than 23 on goal, and their opponent got hit more than 17 times. Pay attention to this one. We're going to talk about this one more as the season goes on. Western Conference team that doesn't shoot the puck, their opponent hit more than 17 times that previous game. 62 and 121 to the under. We were crushing that one last year. The shots on goal and the hits correlate to lower scoring games. Teams aren't shooting, they're playing physical, and that just leads to 3-2, 2-1 types of spots out there. Probably the best way to play this game in hindsight. Let me just look at this number, just for conversation purposes, just for the sake of conversation. Let me look at this Vancouver. Let me look and see what we're talking about here. Vancouver in the over 6.5 is plus 250. What if you take Vancouver in the over 6? I'll tell you what. Vancouver minus 1.5 in the over 6 is plus 370. Keep in mind that scoring margin that I talked about. The Penguins are losing these games by over 3 goals. Minus 1.5 and over 6.5 for that Vancouver is plus 500. For conversation's sake, minus 1.5 and over 6.5 is plus 500. Think about that. What needs to happen? Well, the Canucks need to score. They only got 2 that last game, so a little bit lower scoring, but playing against a goalie that can't stop a beach ball. We know the Penguins are averaging 4 goals allowed per game. We need the Penguins to score some goals. Now, that's the challenge. They're 0-11 spot and losing by 3. But if they're losing by 3 or more, and it's a 5-2 game, boom, you just cashed a plus 500 ticket in the NHL in honor of the late, great John Madden. Boom! He zigs over here, he zigs over there, and boom! You just cashed a plus 500 spot. I'm just taking the over 6 at this point. I might actually get back in there now that I say that, because I hate to say it and not play it. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to play it. And yep, we got the Washington 13-0. Oh, we got that one already. Irish Kings is running again. He's going back to the Vancouver money line. And coin leans to Vancouver in regulation. That's probably not a bad look either. If they're going to lose by 3, they're going to lose by 3 or more. Hit the minus. I wonder what the minus. I'm spending a lot of time on this game now that I think about it. And it starts at 7:30, so the show will be done, and I'll have some time to let this, as I say it aloud, it will, let me see here. It'll percolate a little bit. I can't find the alternate line right now. 2.5 and 3. Oh, there we go. Vancouver minus 2.5 plus 360. Vancouver should smash, but I like the goals. I like to see goals in this game. I think that's the way we get her done. And we're going to keep her moving. We got a big show at 9 p.m., so let's keep it moving. How about that? Let's get to the NBA. Solid in the NBA yesterday. Solid. The fucking Lakers busted me up, but that's okay. It's okay. Let's look You guys know how much I love the revenge spots and I love the bounce back spots. We've talked about that. There's certain things that I look for when I'm capping. I got a whole bunch of trends in the NBA tonight. So if you guys are interested in those here, we'll try to isolate a couple of games early, or I guess not so early, but we'll try to find a couple early games. And then as the evening moves on, we can certainly look for some more of these spots, but there's some great looks. I'm going to pop off here. We're going to look at this first game. 7 p.m. It's the Rockets and the Hornets. Or I'm sorry, the Rockets and the Hornets. I got the Hornets on my mind because it's a heat spot tonight, for what it's worth. If you guys are interested, it's very much a heat spot in my estimation here, and a bounce back roll. And that's why they kind of been sitting top of the mind. But the Rockets open up as 6.5 point favorites. They dropped a half a point. 6s, there's 5.5s, there's even 5s out there. And we still have 67% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the Rockets. So we got a little bit of reverse line movement. We got a total that's screaming to the over. It's gone up 7.5 points, 92% of the bets and 92% of the cash. Now, when I looked at this earlier, come on, I'm going to be slow to load today. Is this what we're going to do today? Is this how we're going to get it done? Injury-wise, don't fool yourselves. This is that Sixers team that started the season 2-12. There's no Embiid. There's no Lowry. There's no George. No Caleb Martin. And the Rockets are coming in plush. They're ready to roll. We did see a beatdown and then a couple of days rest at home. So the Sixers have been on the home stand, but most of these teams aren't playing again until Saturday. They won't play tomorrow. And so the Sixers opted to sit their key guys and put them back into that 2-12 team status. The Rockets, on the other hand, are on their second leg of a back-to-back, and it is in a road trip situation. Historically, yeah, it's not the best spot to be. But look, 3-1 in their last 3 games. That one loss came in the second game in the second day of a back-to-back at home against the Trailblazers. Trailblazers ain't no bitches. I'll discount that loss here and say that the Houston Rockets have been playing pretty well. Good enough for me to get my money behind him here. And the fact is, non-divisional road favorites in a quadruple revenge spot are 64-28. They lost not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. And now you're giving me that 2-12 Sixers team that started the season off? Yeah. Houston -5 it is. Load me up. Not much more to talk about. Now, that's it. There's not much more to talk about. I mean, I don't like the second leg of a back-to-back, but at this point here, look, the Sixers are struggling against the spread. And you know who's not? The Rockets. They're covering spreads, 13-6. Quadruple revenge. Actually, I guess it's triple revenge going into the 4th game. You had to lose to the team 3 times before. You have to be a non-divisional road favorite, and it's a monster number. Now, I tell you guys to get the paper out. It ain't for me just saying it. There's another team that falls under that criteria tonight. Who's the other team that falls under the 64-28 criteria? You lost to the team 3 times in a row. Now you're a non-divisional road favorite. See if anybody knows. See if you guys in the chat know. We got a second. We're keeping a brisk pace. Anybody in the chat know the team that falls under that scenario? Sylvester's Twinkie. What's up, Sylvester's Twinkie? It says McCain and Maxey coming in fired up. They can be fired up all they want, but I love that they're starting to do the McCain dance and stuff like that. But there we go. Chosen one got it. The Knicks. Dan. My guy Dan's in the house. He got it too. Look at you guys. You got it. The New York Knicks are the other team that falls under that criteria tonight. Now, we're going to talk about that game here in just a minute. But, spoiler alert, I'm not playing the Knicks in that spot. I chose, of the 2 teams, give me that 2-12 Sixers team versus this New York Knicks team. And that's how we're going to get to the bank to pop off the NBA. Let's move on to that Mavericks Knicks game out there. Line open at 3.5. 64% of the bets, but only 57% of the cash on the Mavericks. So I always keep that in mind, right? We see a 7% differential. The money, 7% differential, more money than tickets being written coming in on the Knicks. So generally sharper bettors, generally the bigger bettors that are enough to kind of move that thing. And what do? They did move the line. It went from 3.5 to 4s to 4.5. Then we look at the total. We have 81% of the bets and 77% of the cash on the over. It started at 234. It's moved to 232.5. So we have reverse line movement. Love those spots. You know we want to be involved in that business. And that's the business that we're going to take advantage of here tonight. Overall, we look at the injuries, we look at the lineups, of course, we'll do our due diligence here, but the reverse line movement is definitely something to be concerned with. The Mavericks going to be in their first home game after 4 of 5 on the road. They went 2-1 in their 3 straight road games. They beat Denver, big win, 123-120 as a dog. They lost to Miami, 2.5-point dog. Then they lost to they beat Atlanta as a 2.5-point dog. Thing is, look at all those dog spots. The flip side, we have the Knicks. Equal rest. They're on their 4th straight road game with Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. So when I tried to look for the motivational spot, we got no Clay. We got no Luka. Exum and Gafford are out of this thing as well. And it's only Robinson and Achua on the other side. So, is that enough to concern me or to sway me? I just thought from a motivational perspective of these teams that are playing right now, of the 2 teams that I wanted to pick in that scenario with the 3-time revenge. I don't like that the Knicks are traveling home. And I'll tell you another spot that I jumped out at with me on this one. The Mavericks. 15-0 to the under at home. Following a game, they scored the margin of victory of more than 5 points. Cover the spread by more than 10 points. Margin of victory more than 5. Spread cover more than 10. Coming into this thing with a perfect 15-0 record. And what do we look for? We look for the correlated line movement. It's dropping with all the cash coming in on the over. So yeah, we're going to run it up. We're going to take the under 233.5. And we got a minus 102 on that son of a bitch. Whoops. So yeah, we're going to run with it. Now, I'm not mad at anybody that wants to take the Knicks, for sure. But not for me. I'm going to rock with it. I'm going to keep it right to the paint. I'm going to take a shot with this under in this Dallas spot. The best part about this under, when I was looking at these two teams overall and the way that they've been kind of performing lately, look, the Mavericks are an over team. And we got some overs on this Knicks spot. 3 of their last 4 have gone over. Yet the line is coming down. Are the Knicks going to go back out there and put up a 145 spot like they did on Denver? Or are they exhausted because they just blew their load against the powerhouse of the West? I'm going to opt for the blow their load. Probably the situation is that they get up so much on Dallas in this case that Dallas scrubs start going in there and they just stop scoring. To me, that's the best case scenario for this thing. Let's go on to the next game. Keep this brisk pace. I like it. I like this thing. Now we're getting through some games today. I must have come in fired up, huh? Stop Geo Engineer says, good luck today, y'all. No Cody goes back on Malik Beasley. Oh, no Cade equals back on Malik Beasley. Over 3.5 threes at minus 120 on FanDuel. It's going to take 10 plus attempts easily. Catch this line in 4 of his last 5 and 8 of his last 10. With both misses being threes. 3 threes. Jeez, there's a lot of threes in that statement. Stop Geo Engineer. Appreciate you sharing, though. Says, good luck tonight, y'all. Mike, happy early Turkey Day, brother. Shout out to you, Stop Geo. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming in and sharing. True Teller says, what's the move in Texas? Dallas? Oh, Texas, it's A&M. It's A&M for me. It's A&M. Tech B says, no Gafford, no Clay. Bo likes the Knicks or the Mavs in this spot. Yeah, I wanted to take the Knicks. I just flipped it back and said, you know what? Give me the under. Give me the reverse line movement play. Wagner under 41.5 points, rebounds, and assists. A PRA under number. And Juggler 23's checking in. He's giving us some trends. He says, in games between two teams with 40% or less winning percentages and lines of 4.5 or less, either way, the road teams are 96 and 64 straight up, 95 and 62. There's that key number. 60.5%. Whenever we can catch those trends that are over 60.5. So who's that? Is that this game? Is that this game? 40% or less. Is that the Rockets Sixers game? No. The Pistons Grizzlies game? Nope. Give me a clue. Oh, Raptors +3, of course. All right, let me spit a couple bombs at you guys here, and then we'll get back to this last game that I've got on the card. I want to stay tuned for, what is this, 8:30? Shit. I want to play the Lakers. Man, the Lakers are one of the best fucking bounce-back teams after a loss in the second leg of a back-to-back. They won like 100, something like that. 102 maybe. They're firing. Here's a couple trends for you guys. You know, I told you if I can find some spots, maybe I'm not officially on them, but maybe it helps you decide yay or nay. How about if you last played the Pacers? Here's one to write down. If you last played the Pacers, you're 3-13 to the under. 3-13 to the under. Does anybody know which team that is? The under. Just played the Pacers. 3-13 to the under. I think that stat makes a lot of sense as I thought about it, simply because That Pacers had that run and grind pace. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to slow them down. You don't want the Pacers to go out there and splash a 150 spot on you. So now that you're tuned up for defense and you come off that game, it kind of carries over, right? Defense travels, defense carries over. That's the Raptors and Pelicanos. And you got reverse line movement. 69% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the over. Yet it's dropped 3 points. But shop around. Let's see, what else do I have for you guys here? We talked about that second spot there. Teams off a huge loss. They're 39-6 to the over. They're smoking the over by 11 points a game when they're facing the team they beat the last meeting against the spread. And their opponent doesn't have multiple days rest. That would suggest an over in that Lakers game. And we have small correlated line movement. 95% of the bets and 95% of the cash are on that spot. You want to look at Sacktown and you want to look at Timberwolves here. We got reverse line movement. This is where I said I love this fucking card tonight, man. There's just so many great spots. The Timberwolves started at 3.5. They moved to 3. 64% of the bets and 61% of the cash. Conference teams longer than a -2 who lost the previous 2 meetings are 46-9 against the spread if it's in the first 20 games of a season. That means it's too early to check out and lose on a streak. You're still not sure your identity. The books don't know what kind of number to put on you, and they're going over by 6 points a game. That's the Road Dogs and the Sacramento Kings. What else do I have? How about the under in the Suns and Nets game? This will be a 9 p.m. start. We've got reverse line movement. Love the triggers when we have the trends. Triggers and trends, big factors for me. I think that might have to be a new sports money slogan here. Western Conference teams off a win with less than 10 turnovers and more than 20 assists. Now, we've cashed on this a couple of times already this season. Off a win, less than 10 turnovers, more than 20 assists. That's that Globetrotter ball. Remember we talked about that. They're playing Harlem Globe. They're fucking shooting it all over the place. They don't feel any pressure. 72-20 to the under. It's going under by 10 points a game if they held their opponent to under 110 points the previous time that they played. If they can shut that team down and they're playing Globetrotter ball, the game goes under. The Suns and Nets, with all them players sitting out for the Nets, does kind of speak to an under. Shout out to Kelly V in the chat. KV's back with us today. Says, happy Turkey Day, all. Teaser under 232 Lakers, under 222 Miami, over 222 Golden State. Hold nose Portland Trailblazers +9. Love over, is that Golden State? OKC series flies over. And Justin McAlvey says the line's dropping in the Pelicans because of Murphy and Ingram. It's great. Sounds like an under. KV says over Houston Christian. Here we go, some college basketball looks. We'll get the college hoops in uno momento. Over in the Houston Christian game, over 50 teaser NCAA football, Tulane. NHL under 6 in regulation for Calgary and Detroit. I like that under. I get down with that under, KV. And Kelly D says juggler. And I'm in Portland too. Just said Grant out. Portland may just upset him. I think Portland's underrated dog at this point of the season from a personal note. But okay. Caught up there. I don't know if you guys like hearing some of these trends or not. I don't want to waste anybody's time and keep anybody longer than they have to. I got a couple more. They're on the shit list, but the Clippers and Wizards game is looking like an over. Now, the under. We had conflicting spots yesterday, the over and the under in that clip show, or the Wizards game. I know this one kind of pops up right at the very top here. Clippers and Wizards. Spots for you guys in this one. Teams off a huge loss are 39-6. They're going over by almost 11 points a game when they're facing a team they beat the last time against the spread, and their opponent doesn't have multiple days rest. 39-6 to the over. That trend's in place a couple of times tonight. Also, here's the thing about the Wizards. If you're looking now, this is where I couldn't do it. The line's moving to the over for the Clippers, by the way. 72% of the bet, 74% of the cash on the over. It went from 221 to 226. But the Wizards are 0-11 with no rest, coming off a 10 or more point loss. They're getting busted up. 14 or more points on the loss on average. Last one I got for you before I give you my last official NBA play. Memphis and Detroit. Memphis 10-0 at home against the spread versus the East if they had 4 or more offensive rebounds the previous game. As long as they weren't full-fledged piles of dog shit offensively on the boards, cover the spread against the East 10 straight times at home. Tough to play in the house of Memphis. Favorites for small dogs are 30-4 to the under. This is where the margin came in. It's almost 14 points if their average biggest lead is at least 19 points and their opponent had at least 14 rebounds the last game. That one kind of makes sense. You get so far up on a team, you take your players out, and the opponent does a good job of rebounding, limiting second chances. Makes a lot of sense. That's Memphis and Detroit to an under. But the last game I got, like I said, let me know if you guys like hearing those things. Takes a lot of time to put them together. Sometimes my process of elimination is I kind of scrub the databases. I find a few of them and I kind of put them out there. And then throughout the day, I kind of watch the line movement, watch the injuries, watch where the sharp betting's coming in, try to make my adjustments accordingly and then whittle them down to the best few. But if those are things that you guys like to hear, if it helps you in your gambling decision-making, then I'm happy to share them. Sometimes, surprisingly enough, you'll go through a card and there's just multiple databases. There's just not enough actionable intelligence, but we got some actionable intelligence in this OKC Thunder Golden State Warriors game. Big line movement, 77% of the bet. This is where it doesn't matter. 77% of the bet, 73% of the cash on Golden State. Line moved from -1.5 to 4, +4. They went from a favorite to a dog. Why? Well, they're not playing again until Saturday, and they're sitting their boys. The totals dropped from 229.5. It's dropped 5 full points to 224.5, despite 93% of the bets and 85% of the cash on the over. That's where you have to make the line make sense, right? We've talked about this before. If you can justify the line movement or some of the challenges that are taking place, then okay. I don't think Kuminga is going to play. From what I can tell, now he's questionable. He's got the illness, which means they're going to probably isolate him from the team. And good time they got that rest coming up and don't play again until Saturday. The OKC Thunder, they're kind of a mash unit as well. Holmgren, obviously the big guy being out. Yang's being out. Jalen Williams is out. Alex Caruso's out of that thing as well. So it's a little bit of a dicey run. But I'm going to take it. I'm going to jump in here. Let me see what the best number is that we can still get here. Yeah, there's still plenty of 4s out there. 4 at -109, in fact. At Bet Rivers as well. Interesting out there. You know the deal. Very much trend and analytics driven here. First of all, the fact that these guys aren't, I expected them not to be in earlier today, and I grabbed that number at damn near a pick 'em. And the reason was they're not playing again until Saturday. So with the holiday break in there, it's just like we talked about with the Sixers. Take the load off them boys. Now, the Warriors play fucking phenomenally at home when they're in a dog roll or a pick 'em. They're 21-2 at home when they're not more than a 1-point favorite. So there's that. Now that's again, Kuminga and Steph factors. Big question mark. But this is the road favorites facing a team they lost to the last meeting as a favorite, shorter than a -3. Revenge does exist. This is why we look for these spots. 48-7 in the revenge spot against the team they just lost to when the total's more than a 223. This total is still above that threshold to trigger. It's good enough for me to jump in on it. I'm going to fire away. I got the OKC Thunder. It's a little 3-pack in the NBA, plus a whole bunch of spots for you guys to consider on your own as well. Alex, appreciate you responding. I asked. I appreciate you responding, my dude. So I love trends. They influence my capping a lot. It's funny. I've told the story several times. There's a couple of JOs, and I'm not talking about Joe Overs. I'm talking about, and they used to make fun of the trends all the time. You don't fucking see them anywhere. Since the adaptation of the trends to my gambling world, the fucking bankrolls went from refilling to cashing out a lot and consistently. Because, Juggler 23 looks at that number too, 60.5%. If they're 50-50s, find something else. I don't care enough about any games in the NBA that I gotta bet them. I shout out to our guy LJ. Remember when in the playoffs he wasn't even betting Boston? He just wouldn't bet Boston a couple of years ago. I know that probably infuriated Nasty Nate over there outdoors in the URI, but it does make a big difference to me. Now, it's not the end all, right? Trends don't mean plays. They're just, hard to beat a trend, especially when you got 6, 7, 8, 9 years in the database to go get it. So let's roll. Let's go to this big college basketball game that we're going to jump into. This one here, kind of a smaller college basketball card. I had a really good run the last 2 days in college basketball, and I didn't want to push it. Yeah, there's a bunch of spots I like, but some of them are New York driven, and I can't bet them, so it's not really worth my time. I don't know about Villanova. They're suspect. If you look at this Rider-Villanova game, the line's got big-time public betting coming in on Villanova. 84% of the bets on Nova. 59% of the cash, though, on Rider. And you're getting 18.5 points. Strong lean to me to Rider, but I couldn't pull the trigger. I think Arkansas Little Rock kicks the shit out of Maryland Eastern Shores, and we have reverse line movement. 76% of the bets and 75% of the cash. Maryland Eastern Shores went from 15.5 points to 17.5 points, now 18 points. So there's a little trigger action in that game. I do like the under in Northern Arizona, Houston Christian. We've got reverse line movement on the total, but the line has fallen 4.5 points. That's a pretty big drop considering 69% of the bets and 68% of the cash are on the over. But at 8:30, I'm looking at Michigan and Xavier. And I see 87% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over. And that's moved up a full point now. Shop around because it's spotty. There's 152.5s, 153s, and 153.5s. Look at the total. Or look at the side. Really haven't seen much movement. It opened at -1.5 for Michigan. 58% of the bets, but 81% of the cash are on Xavier with the 1.5 at -105. You got a 5-1 Michigan team coming in. You got a Xavier team that's 6-0. We look at some of these recent performances out there. Xavier's been hammering teams. South Carolina, big SEC game. They go out there and handle them 75-66, right in that wheelhouse of a 5.5-point favorite. Who has Michigan played? Keep in mind, when we talk about this, we fucking nail it. TCU. Okay. Miami of Ohio. They thumped Miami of Ohio. Well, you should have. 94-67. Then they run it back against Tarleton. I mean, when you're getting 23 or you're given 23, then you're given 31, you're not testing yourself. Then you got Virginia Tech. They're laying 10.5. I don't know if I'm buying into Tech at this point. I mean, Tech's 1-5 against the spread. They're 3-3 overall in the season. But what do we know about these teams? I'll tell you a couple things I know. Whenever I need to count on a Michigan team to put points on the board, they fuck me. They enjoy it. It's ugly. It's painful. They can't find a way. What I know about the Xavier team here is it's a step up in class for Michigan to play Xavier for the first time this season. And you know that we're going to want to see, or Xavier's going to want to go out there and ring the bell. The process I had here when I looked at this one, though, is just the way that Xavier's balanced and the way that they attack the ball. They play well. They board. They do everything kind of right. I know it's early in the season. We're not going to anoint them college basketball champions just yet, but I think that they can run this test here. And the fact that they're getting that slating as a small dog, a little disrespect. They're a defensive pressure-oriented program. They like to get in your face. They got the hands flopping. They're pushing you outside of the perimeter. And when you're playing in neutrals and you're getting pushed off against pressure in your face, both teams perform solidly on defense. Both teams, well, at least from the Michigan perspective, I'm concerned that they can score points. I'm rolling in. I'm taking the under 153.5 for Xavier. -106. Again, just keep it. I'm getting some great ROI numbers here by getting it below that -110s. Do I think Xavier wins the game? Yeah, probably. Outright, sure. Would it surprise me that Michigan comes in here and just stone cold freezes out that offense for Xavier and it ends up being like an 80-60 type of game? That would greatly surprised me that Michigan stepping up in class would bust up. You just played 2 cupcakes. This is going to be a big challenge for these guys to answer here. And again, the neutral site, we know the unders in neutral sites are running like crazy. If you want another trend when it comes to neutral sites, now this hasn't entirely panned out this year thus far, but when the total's between 145 and 180, the under on neutral court have cashed at a 54% time, 1,085 to 921. Now, it's not quite that magical 60% number that we're looking for, but the piece that jumps out to me there is you got a 2,000 game sample size. In 2,000 games, you got almost a 55% edge. It's not huge, but when you add in the fact that these 2 teams play defense, and I just talked about the style of the defense Xavier plays, it's good enough for me to take a spot with Xavier. I'll take the under 153.5. And I'm looking forward to running it. I think we're in a good spot here. And I'll tell you about good spots. It's going to be here tonight at Sports Money, 9 p.m. Yeah. We're going to run first slice. We're going to do it live. I'm going to give you guys the first slice of turkey, the first slice of apple pie. We're going to break down the NFL games, some European soccer action. We got some PFL fighting as well. We're going to give you guys a whole bunch of stuff here at 9 p.m. So just 2 hours from now, go grab some dinner, go grab a cocktail, go place your bets, and get ready to come back here and have some fun with us tonight. It's going to be a great night to get it done. I think we're in a great spot with these plays here. We're coming off a big day. I say we run it back here. I think we hit them hard. I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Hit that thumbs up on your way out the door. And make sure you circle back for 9 p.m. Let's talk some NFL. Come in with your player props, your sides, your totals, your parlays, everything you're going to do tomorrow. We want to hear about it tonight so that while we're all sitting around enjoying our Thanksgivings with our families, we got some action on the line. Nothing helps get through that family time better than action. Nothing helps you enjoy that family. That's what I meant. Nothing helps you enjoy that family time better than action on the line. Thank you, guys. We'll see you back here again, 9 p.m. tonight. Don't be late. Get ready to go. Enjoy your night. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep